Hey NFL fans, before we dive into today's hottest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update from NFL News Now. Under the bright lights of Acrisure Stadium last Sunday, the Pittsburgh Steelers celebrated a gritty win over the Cleveland Browns. But the mood in the locker room quickly shifted from triumph to heartbreak when team captain and special teams standout Miles Killebrew went down with what now appears to be a serious knee injury. For fans who have followed this team closely, the sight of Killebrew being helped off the field, unable to put any weight on his right leg, was one of those moments that just cuts through the euphoria of victory. You could feel it in the air. The stadium got quiet, the bench players gathered, and even the normally stoic Mike Tomlin wore a look that said everything. This was more than just another bump or bruise in a violent sport. This was one of their emotional anchors, their heartbeat on special teams, suddenly gone. Now, as the Steelers prepare for a short week and a crucial primetime showdown against the Cincinnati Bengals, Tomlin has confirmed what many feared. Killebrew will not suit up. He's officially been ruled out, and though the team has yet to give a full medical diagnosis, the tone of Tomlin's voice during his Tuesday press conference said it all. It's serious. He's our captain, but you guys know the motto that we live by, Tomlin said, in his calm but commanding way that's become his signature. We can certainly hurt for him as a man and as a teammate and a brother and the individual, but from a football perspective, one man's misfortune is another man's opportunity, and we certainly have some capable people. There's an expectation that others step up and fill in the gaps. It was classic Tomlin, honest, heartfelt, but forward-looking. The message to the locker room was clear. Yes, we're hurting, but the train doesn't stop moving. Still, this one stings for Pittsburgh fans and players alike. Miles Killebrew isn't just another name on the roster. The 32-year-old veteran has carved out a unique legacy in the Steel City since arriving 5 seasons ago. A 2-time Pro Bowler and first-team All-Pro in 2023, Killebrew has built his reputation as one of the league's premier special teams players. Tough, disciplined, and selfless. Those kinds of players don't always get the spotlight, but ask anyone in that locker room, and they'll tell you that Killebrew's impact goes far beyond the stat sheet. Before the injury, he had already logged 81 special teams snaps this season, racking up 5 tackles and setting the tone with his relentless energy. You could always spot him, number 28, flying down the field like a heat-seeking missile on kickoff coverage, leading by example and setting the standard for how to play Steelers football. The injury itself happened in one of those cruelly ordinary moments that football fans dread. The Steelers had just gone up 9-0 after Chris Boswell nailed his 3rd field goal of the afternoon. It was still early enough in the game that players were full of adrenaline, the crowd roaring with that familiar Pittsburgh swagger. Then, on the ensuing kickoff, Killebrew sprinted downfield and suddenly crumpled to the turf. Replays showed him clutching his right knee almost immediately, and the reaction from his teammates said it all. Within seconds, the entire special teams unit had surrounded him, followed by players from both sidelines. Jabril Peppers helped support him as trainers arrived, and even though Killebrew tried to stay composed, you could tell this was serious. He couldn't put any weight on the leg. The image of him being carted off, the crowd standing and clapping in respect, was one of those emotional moments that stick with you long after the final whistle. After the game, the focus turned to questions about the field conditions at Acrisure Stadium, a recurring storyline for Pittsburgh. The grass has long been criticized by players and analysts for wearing down too quickly, especially in bad weather. Reporters asked Tomlin whether the turf might have played a role in Killebrew's injury, but the coach brushed it off, saying he had no idea if that was the case. That didn't stop others from weighing in. In fact, even veteran quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who faced the Steelers earlier this season, brought up the issue during his post-game press conference. I couldn't tell pre-game, no, Rodgers said when asked about the turf. I just felt like it got real beat up. By the time the 3rd quarter rolled around, that thing was really beat up, so I feel bad about what happened to Miles. When an opposing player like Rodgers, known for his meticulous eye and outspoken honesty, makes a point to send condolences and criticize the playing surface, you know it's something the league might have to take a closer look at. But the story isn't just about grass or bad luck, or a team losing one of its core leaders. This is about how the Steelers respond. Mike Tomlin has always preached the next man up mentality, But behind that mantra is a deeper truth about his philosophy as a coach: resilience. The Steelers are built to withstand adversity, and if there's one thing this team knows, it's how to rally around a fallen teammate. Expect to see young guys like Mark Robinson or Nick Herbig getting more opportunities on special teams this week. It's a big moment for them, but it's also a test of how much of that Killebrew mentality has rubbed off on the rest of the unit. Because make no mistake, Miles didn't just play hard, he led by example. He showed younger players how to prepare, how to stay disciplined, how to take pride in the parts of the game that don't make highlight reels. Losing that kind of presence, even for a few weeks, can shake a locker room. Fans know what Killebrew means to the culture of this team. Ever since joining Pittsburgh, he's been one of the emotional leaders, someone who embodies the franchise's blue-collar identity. He's not the loudest voice, but he's one of the most respected. When Tomlin named him a captain, it wasn't just symbolic. It was a reflection of how deeply his teammates trusted him. The respect goes both ways. After practice, he's often the guy staying behind to work with younger players or just to talk with them about the mental side of the game. There's a reason you see guys rallying around him whenever something happens. He's the heartbeat of that special teams unit, and his presence has been one of the quiet foundations of this team's success over the past couple of seasons. So now, as the Steelers turn their attention to the Bengals, the challenge becomes twofold. On the field, they've got to find someone who can replicate even a fraction of what Killebrew brings in coverage and discipline. Off the field, they've got to keep the energy and morale high, especially on a short week. Prime time in Cincinnati is never easy. The Bengals are desperate for a win, and divisional games always have that extra edge. But this week, Pittsburgh isn't just playing for another notch in the win column. They'll be playing for their captain. Don't be surprised if you see his jersey taped up in the locker room, or a few players writing his number on their gloves. That's the kind of impact he's had. The timing couldn't be tougher. The Steelers are in the thick of a tightly packed AFC North race, where every game feels like a playoff. A win against Cincinnati could mean momentum, confidence, and a statement that this team can overcome anything. And overcoming adversity has always been part of the Steelers' DNA. Remember last season, when everyone counted them out after a string of injuries? Tomlin rallied that locker room, pulled off a series of gritty wins, and somehow got them back into contention. That same kind of spirit will be needed again, right now. The players know it. The fans know it. And you can bet Miles Killebrew will be watching from the sideline, cheering on his guys, because that's just who he is. As the days go by, we'll likely learn more about the extent of Killebrew's injury, whether it's something that could sideline him for a few weeks or the rest of the season. But whatever the timeline, his absence will be felt immediately. You don't replace leadership like that overnight. You don't just find another guy who can do everything he does, on and off the field. But what you can do is honor him through effort. You can take his example and turn it into fuel. That's what championship teams do. That's what the Pittsburgh Steelers have always done. And if history tells us anything, it's that this team doesn't crumble under pressure, they rise. So while fans across Pittsburgh might still be wincing at the image of Killebrew being carted off, they can also take solace in knowing that his spirit, his grit, and his leadership will still echo through that locker room. This is the kind of moment that defines a season, not because of the injury itself, but because of how a team responds to it. The Steelers' story isn't about one man's pain. It's about a collective will to keep fighting, to keep believing, and to keep playing for each other, no matter the circumstances. So when the lights come on in Cincinnati and that black and gold unit runs out of the tunnel, you can bet they'll be carrying a little bit of their captain with them. Maybe it'll show in an extra burst of energy on a kickoff. Maybe it'll show in a defensive stand on third down. Or maybe it'll just show in the quiet way they look at each other before the first snap, knowing exactly who they're playing for. That's the beauty of football. It's brutal, it's unpredictable, and yet, at its core, it's about family. And in Pittsburgh, family means everything. Keep watching as we analyze more details about some rumors. Breaking news is coming out of the NFL world that has left fans absolutely stunned and the sports community reeling. According to multiple sources that have yet to be officially confirmed, the league has reportedly made the unprecedented decision to cancel the game between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the fiercest rivalries in the entire NFL. This is not just any cancellation. This is a move that would shake the very foundations of the league, Given that Browns versus Steelers games are always circled on calendars, watched by millions, and discussed endlessly across sports networks and social media platforms. The whispers started circulating early this morning, with insiders hinting at extremely serious allegations surrounding the match, though the league has remained tight-lipped about the exact nature of these claims. What is clear, however, is that this is not your typical rescheduling due to weather, player injuries, or logistical issues. We're talking about something far more serious, something that could have long-lasting implications for both teams and the NFL as a whole. Fans first noticed something was off when ticketing and broadcast updates began showing discrepancies, with the usual live streaming and local broadcast feeds suddenly going dark or being replaced with generic NFL programming. Social media exploded within minutes, with hashtags like hashtag #BrownsSteelers canceled and hashtag NFL scandal trending within the first hour. The sense of disbelief was palpable. How could a game that was physically played, a game that thousands of fans witnessed in person and countless others watched on television, suddenly be declared null and void? The chatter among the sports community has been frenetic, with speculation ranging from on-field misconduct to off-field criminal investigations. Some insiders claim that the allegations involve inappropriate behavior or rule violations by players, coaches, or even league officials. Others hint at the possibility of tampering or unethical conduct that could undermine the integrity of the match. No one is yet able to confirm the exact details, but the term extremely serious keeps being repeated, adding a layer of intrigue and urgency that has the sports world holding its collective breath. The Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers have both issued statements that seem carefully worded, avoiding any direct reference to the nature of the allegations. The Browns spokesperson emphasized that they are cooperating fully with the NFL's internal review, noting that the organization is committed to transparency and integrity in all aspects of the game. Meanwhile, the Steelers' statement was even more cautious, focusing on the team's dedication to their fans and the importance of adhering to league protocols while investigations are ongoing. Neither team has disclosed whether players are involved or if coaching staff may be implicated, which has fueled the rumor mill even further. Among diehard fans, theories have ranged from match-fixing suspicions to serious off-field violations that could result in suspensions or legal consequences. The uncertainty is almost unbearable, and the lack of concrete information has created a frenzy of speculation that is dominating sports talk shows, podcasts, and online forums. Historical context only amplifies the shockwaves of this cancellation. The Browns and Steelers have one of the oldest and most intense rivalries in NFL history, with decades of dramatic games, legendary plays, and moments that have become etched into the sports lore. Canceling a game like this, after it has already been played, is something that has never happened before, at least not in modern professional football. Analysts have pointed out that such a move could set a precedent for how the league handles future allegations or controversies, particularly those that involve high-profile matchups. Fans have expressed mixed emotions. Some are outraged, claiming that erasing a game diminishes the effort of the athletes who competed, while others are cautiously supportive, emphasizing that if the allegations are as serious as rumored, the league must act decisively to maintain its credibility. Social media has been flooded with memes, heated debates, and, in some cases, heartfelt messages from fans who feel betrayed by the sudden reversal of what should have been a celebrated event. The timing of this revelation has also fueled speculation. This cancellation comes at a moment in the NFL season when every win and loss matters, and playoff positioning is on the line. Analysts are predicting that nullifying the Browns-Steelers game could have ripple effects across the standings, potentially impacting wildcard races, division titles, and even the financial implications for teams in terms of playoff revenue and viewership. Some insiders have hinted that the league may even be exploring retroactive penalties or point adjustments, though nothing has been confirmed. Sports bettors are reportedly in turmoil as well, with wagers that were placed on the outcome of the game now in question, leaving casinos, sportsbooks, and online platforms scrambling to adjust. The uncertainty surrounding the situation has created a unique kind of chaos that extends far beyond the teams themselves, touching every corner of the sports ecosystem, from casual fans to analysts to those with a financial stake in the league. Meanwhile, players from both teams have been notably silent on social media, fueling even more speculation. Traditionally outspoken athletes have refrained from commenting publicly, a clear signal that something serious is under investigation. Former players, sports commentators, and ex-coaches have taken to podcasts and live streams to dissect the rumors, with opinions ranging from disbelief to cautious acknowledgement that the league's reputation is at stake. Some have suggested that the NFL may be attempting to send a message that no matter the history, no matter the popularity of a rivalry, no one is above scrutiny if allegations of misconduct arise. The secrecy and the gravity of the situation have created a perfect storm for rumors to thrive, and the lack of official details has left fans grasping at every piece of information, trying to piece together the story as it unfolds. Legal experts and sports law analysts have also entered the conversation, speculating on what legal implications could arise from canceling a game after it has already occurred. Questions about contracts, player compensation, broadcasting rights, and even insurance claims are now being raised. The decision could potentially lead to lawsuits or demands for clarification from parties involved in ticket sales, sponsorship deals, and merchandising agreements tied to the game. Some experts have suggested that if wrongdoing is confirmed, this could mark a turning point in the NFL's approach to governance, transparency, and disciplinary procedures, signaling a stricter stance on accountability than the league has historically displayed. This has only deepened the intrigue and heightened the anticipation for an official statement that addresses the specifics of the situation. As the rumor mill churns, sports journalists are reporting from the sidelines, trying to gather first-hand accounts and statements. Sources who have requested anonymity have hinted at ongoing investigations and critical evidence that has forced the league's hand, though they decline to provide details. Meanwhile, social media continues to be a hotbed of speculation, with fans dissecting footage, analyzing player behavior, and even combing through old interviews for clues. Every small piece of information is being treated like breaking news, and the narrative around the canceled Browns-Steelers game is evolving by the hour. The sense of uncertainty and urgency is palpable, creating an atmosphere that is more reminiscent of a high-stakes drama than a traditional sports story. In conclusion, the cancellation of the Cleveland Browns versus Pittsburgh Steelers game is sending shockwaves through the NFL, leaving fans, analysts, and players alike in a state of disbelief. The reasons behind the league's unprecedented decision remain shrouded in secrecy, fueling a frenzy of rumors and speculation. From potential player misconduct to legal ramifications and playoff implications, the fallout from this announcement is likely to be felt for months, if not years. The Browns-Steelers rivalry is legendary, and now it has become the centerpiece of what could be one of the most controversial moments in NFL history. While the league continues its investigation, the sports world can only wait, watch, and debate, wondering what will ultimately emerge from this storm of allegations and intrigue, and how it will reshape the narrative of professional football for years to come. Fans, journalists, and insiders are all holding their breath, anticipating the official details, knowing that when they finally emerge, the story of this canceled game will go down in history as one of the most shocking and talked about moments in sports. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow NFL fans. Stay tuned for more updates, only here on NFL News Now.